This video chapter lesson reviews part 3 of the N400 application. If you have a copy of your original N400, please have it with you during this lesson to follow along. Remember that during your interview, the interviewing officer has a copy of the exact application you sent the United States Citizenship and Immigration Service. If you don't have a copy of the N400, be sure to download a copy from our website. Part 3 of the N400 is general information about you. We will be looking at the different ways the questions can be expressed or asked. There is more than one way to ask the same question. You will have to make sure you can spell correctly some of the personal information asked of you. We will help you understand each question and vocabulary. Remember to answer all questions fully and accurately. Your interviewer is seeking more background information about you. He or she might want to know if you have any conditions that might limit your interview. Let's get familiar with the following words. Annulled. Country of birth. Country of nationality. Current marital status.
Order your CD today to receive VIP access to our new online citizenship school, where you'll not only find the 100 questions, but much, much more. You'll learn to answer each question exactly the way you would on the day of your interview by clicking here.
What is the supreme law of the land? The Constitution.
It's that easy. So what are you waiting for? Your CD or MP3 player order gives you access to the best and most complete learning experience available anywhere. Order now.
In this part of the N400, you will have to put to memory different numbers and dates. For example, you must know without any hesitation your Social Security number. Please practice saying often the numbers on your Social Security card. Here are some of the possible questions that can be asked of you from Part 3, Section A of the N400 about your Social Security number. What is your Social Security number? Do you know your Social Security number? Tell me your Social Security number. In Part 3, Section B, you will have to know your date of birth. In the United States, people say or express their birthday in a specific order: the month, the day, and the complete year. The year is usually divided into two numbers. For example, the year 1776 is expressed or said like this. The first part of the year is said 17. The second part of the year is said 76. Remember this order always when giving dates: month, day, year. Make sure you know how to spell the month you were born in. Here are some of the possible questions that can be asked of you from Part 3 about your birthday. What is your date of birth? What is your birthday? When were you born? On what day were you born? What is the date of your birth? Spell the name of the month you were born in. Your date of birth is when? In Part 3, Section C, you must know the exact date you became a permanent resident and how long you have been a permanent resident. You must also know your USCIS A number. Look at your permanent resident card. There, you will find your A number. Your permanent resident card was formerly known as the Alien Registration or Green Card. The A number on your card will be 7 to 9 numbers depending on when your record was created. This number is so important that it is asked on every page of the N400. The official date your lawful permanent residence is shown on your permanent resident card. If you look carefully at your permanent resident card, you can find the date you became a permanent resident. Not only should you know the exact month, day, and year you became a permanent resident, but you should also know how many years you have been a permanent resident. Make sure you know how to spell the month you became a permanent resident. Here are some of the possible questions that can be asked of you from Part 3 about your residency. What is the date you became a permanent resident? When did you become a permanent resident? On what date did you become a permanent resident? What is your USCIS A number? How long have you been a permanent resident? When did you get your permanent resident card? Can you tell me the date you became a permanent resident? In Part 3, Section D, you must know the country you were born in. Make sure you know how to spell the country you were born in. Here are some of the possible questions that can be asked of you from Part 3 about country you were born in. What country were you born in? Where were you born? In what country were you born? Spell the name of the country you were born in. In Part 3, Section E, you will need to know your nationality. Your nationality might be different than the country you were born in or are a citizen. For example, you might have been born in a refugee camp and then moved to a country. Or perhaps were born in one country and then moved to another country where you later became a citizen. Your country of nationality is the country where you are currently a citizen. If you are a citizen or national of more than one country, you might need to tell your interviewer the name of the foreign country that issued you your last passport. Here are some of the possible questions that can be asked of you from Part 3 about your nationality. What is your nationality? What country are you currently a citizen or national? What's your country of nationality?
La Fonda Paisa, a restaurant with a typical and cozy environment, where all our clients enjoy the best of the Colombian cuisine, especially la bandeja paisa, and they feel like they are home. Our menu includes a variety of both Colombian and international dishes, using the most fresh products that are processed by our professional chefs with more than 12 years of experience who create our own specialties.
In Part 3, Section F, you will be asked about your parents' immigration status. The United States Citizenship and Immigration Service might ask you if either of your parents are citizens. You might already be a U.S. citizen if either of your parents are U.S. citizens. Here are some of the possible questions that can be asked of you from Part 3 about your parents. Are either of your parents United States citizens? Are your parents citizens of the United States? Is your mother or father a U.S. citizen? Spell both your parents' names. In Part 3, Section G, you will be asked about your current marital status. Check the marital status you put down on your N400. If you are not married, but you had a prior marriage that was annulled or otherwise legally terminated, you will have to explain this to your interviewing officer. The question about your marital status is simply asking if you are married, divorced, single, or widowed. You cannot state you are separated as a marital status. Here are some of the possible questions that can be asked of you from Part 3 about your marital status. What is your current marital status? What is your marital status? Are you married? Are you single? Are you divorced? Are you widowed? Are you currently married? Are you currently single? Are you currently divorced? Are you currently widowed? To test what you just learned in this video chapter lesson, be sure to watch our practice interview videos.